Good evening, people. Welcome back to Cruising on Crypto. I am Craig. So if you want a channel that talks not only about cryptocurrencies and what's going on in the market, but also how to get passive income while you hold your favorite cryptocurrency project, then this is the channel for you for sure. Hit subscribe, hit the bell notification button, mostly because you want to watch these episodes as soon as they come out. You don't want to miss that. Some of these are time sensitive, new things are happening, prices are changing all the time. A week in crypto is like a year in a lot of other investments. So things change rapidly and you want to watch these episodes as close to when they come out live as you possibly can. So as you can see from the thumbnail behind us, we're going to be talking about Nemesis DAO. Now this is the project I've talked about before. And the one reason I want to highlight this one is because they're fighting the recent trend, price trend. If you've been watching the markets lately, the crypto market has not been doing very well. And the more aggressive or high risk, high return type projects like DeFi 2.0, pretty much all DeFi plays, have been taking it right on the chin lately. Prices have been falling. And it's rare when you see a project where it's not falling. In fact, it's rising. And I'm going to show you some charts in a second. But Nemesis DAO does another thing that I think needs to be highlighted, is they're always updating their community on the latest moves and what they're doing to improve the project all the time. I'm going to show you a list of things that they list on their Telegram. But this is their main website, nemesis.finance. And you just want to do is you want to hit connect now. It will bring you over to the DApp. And this is the front page. And the reason I'm drawing your attention to this is you want to go down here if you want to read more about what's going on. They have a Discord, they have a Twitter, they have a Telegram. And I'm about to show you, I'll probably come back to this page, but I'm going to show you a list of things that they're putting on their Telegram, and they're constantly updating it in their, it's like a pinned comment. It's always at the top of what's going on in their project. So you can always go up there and see by the day what's changing. So let's take a look at that list. Okay, so I blew the list up nice and big so you can read it. I'm going to leave it on the screen. But as you can see, they're talking about how they have one of the highest APYs considering the size of their market cap. So what they're saying, highest APY comparing to market cap, meaning that if it's a very small brand new project, small market cap, of course they can promise you the world. As they've been around longer and they've got a bigger and bigger market cap, it's harder and harder to move the needle. So it is harder for them to give you those kind of mind-blowing APYs. But let's just go back quickly and see what the APY is right now. Right now, the APY is 1.5 million% APY. So like they say, they're not exaggerating that. That is a very high APY for such a large market cap project. Here's their list of what they do, and they list it by day. And you can just go through here and see how quickly things change. I'm actually very surprised on day 2. They got listed on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. So they had to do some legwork ahead of time, I'm guessing, to be listed. A project being listed on day 2 is just like never heard of. Usually CoinMarketCap and that, they want you to do a whole whack of stuff to get listed by them, but they clearly did all the paperwork ahead of time and then got on there like day 2. 90% of supply is locked in. 1/3 of the team tokens is burned. So this is one thing they want to implement, is they didn't want it to look like the developers are the ones that reap all the rewards. So they burned a lot of their team tokens, and that is on day 7. And there's more. As you go, just keep going down here. I'll leave it on the screen for you to read. You can see their market cap going up every day in leaps and bounds. They got a new website on day 19. And this is just to show you how many things, like literally every day, they've got something new to talk about. Market cap keeps changing. They got a central exchange listing on Hotbit. Their CertiK security audit was on board on day 27. It is almost done. That's in a future update. The Hotbit trading contest, airdrops. And one thing I definitely want to show you here is a buyback and burn. They've been doing buyback and burns. And if there's one thing you hear that's a complaint about most of these rebased DAOs, is how inflationary the token is. Meaning when they're giving you that 1.5 million% APY, or even if it's less, there's usually bond that mints new coins plus reward coins that are being giving out. In essence, a lot of new coins are always coming on the market, which is in essence inflating away the coins that are already out there. So you have to continue to be staked to kind of keep ahead of the game because they're always minting new coins. If you ever make the monumental mistake of taking these coins and just sticking them in a cold wallet, you are going to lose your purchasing power because there's so many new coins being minted. So you got to stay staked. Stay staked as long as you can and believe in a project. You just stay staked. Or if you believe you want to put new money in, you can get into bonds. We'll talk about that later. But buyback and burns is not always common in these rebased DAOs. This one is doing it. And somewhere down here, they've already done $1 million in buyback and burns events started in day 55. Again, I told you that the roadmap for 2022 is coming out mid-January. It is presently the 10th of January, so we're probably talking a week away at most. And that's why I said when that comes out, I'm curious to see what the new roadmap will be, and I'll put out another episode then, because right now they're still being a little hush-hush on what's going on in the roadmap for 2022. So I'm interested. I am an investor, by the way, and hopefully you are interested as well. Angel nodes, 100 new YouTube deals. Well, consider this one of them. I am an investor. They know that. They have approached me. So this is a sponsored video, to be fully outright about that. I do get some sponsorship money for doing these videos, but it's not just a case of I'm doing it because I get sponsorship. I was already an invested customer, I guess, before they even contact me about this. Now, this is an exciting thing. Nemesis Pro is coming out in February. It is going to totally revamp Nemesis. That's probably going to be more detailed described in the 2022 roadmap. So let's look forward to that on the next episode. There's one more highlighted area here I wanted to bring up. And this is their last update as of day 56, which is 2 days ago, actually. This might be a new one out since I printed this. But they wanted to highlight that this is the best time to get into this project because it is so close to its backing price. That is kind of what I wanted to say in this episode, if nothing else. All these other ones have fallen. Nemesis DAO, not as much, but it did earlier, a week or so ago, fall with the rest of them, and that's gotten it much closer to its backing price. And one thing I've noticed from these DAOs is the one that were massively overpriced, in other words, very high valuation compared to its treasury, fell a lot harder and a lot faster than the ones that were already close to its treasury backing value. It would be, if you're a stock investor, think of it as a price earnings ratio. If we're going into a pullback, the coins or the stocks that are like trading at 1,000 times PE fall a lot harder and a lot faster than something that's trading at 10 times PE. It makes sense, right? A value stock doesn't fall as far as an ambitious pie in the sky growth stock would be, right? And again, they're talking about how they burned another 1,000 Nemesis coins and how the team's holding because of this burning and removal of the team coins has got them down to just 2,048 coins. So they're always showing you that this is supposed to be a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, and the voting power comes from how many coins you have. So it's probably in your best interest, if you want to have any control over this project, if it isn't one or two developers who have the lion's share of the coins, because then in essence they run the show and they make all the decisions. Their CertiK audit is almost done. It's 85% done. Roadmap, we talked about that. Angel nodes, YouTube deals. And the reason you might be wondering, how does that benefit you as a coin owner to have YouTube deals? Well, let's face it, there are a lot of DAOs on the market. And for new people to find out about it, you need to have videos like this that bring people's attention to it. And then people will look into the benefits of this one over the other ones. And talking about all of these updates every day kind of shows you that these developers are working hard. And that's something to keep in mind, because there are so many DAOs out there that just copy and paste the original OHM, and then they get a treasury, and then they never talk about what they're doing with it. And you always wonder, are they just sitting in stable coins, just making no income and just paying back people from the new money that's come in, which will only work until new money stops coming in, and then these projects just collapse, right? So you want to see developers that are constantly innovating and have a roadmap and plans for how to improve the project, how to get that treasury growing, and all of that, so that this has a long-term viable potential. So there you go. Those are the things. Again, you can read this on your own. Go to their Telegram page, go to their pinned comments, or go in their Discord. I'm sure that they've got this updated list in numerous places, but you can read about it all on your own. And I should say that right off the bat. Just because you hear I'm an investor does not mean you should be an investor. Do your own research. All these rebased DAOs are on the aggressive side of the risk reward. There's high reward. There's also high risk. Some of these projects are definitely going to go to zero if we hit a bear market. Another thing you have to do your own research for is, do you think we still have more bull market ahead of us? If we do, these projects are value priced right now compared to the way they were a month ago. So this might be a great buying opportunity if you think we still have more bull market ahead of us. If you think, nope, 69,000 for Bitcoin in November, 5th was the high, we're done, bear market's here. Well, yeah, then maybe these more aggressive rebased DAOs are not going to go up in the next X number of months or a year that we're in a bear market. But keep in mind, I'm going to put a video up here, I guess, a link at the top to say, go back and watch my video where I take these. There's usually a calculator page. This one has one too. Yeah, calculator. I don't use them all the time, but just as an example, you can go in here and you can take the price down to something ridiculous like $50. Take this down to 100,000% from the 1.5 million percent. Say you have, okay, so you've got 20 Nemesis coins, which is about $5,000. And let's just bring it out 6 months. That'd be 182 days, let's say. And your $5,000 turns into $31,309. When the coin's fallen from 256 all the way down to 50, and you've lowered the average over the entire time from 1.5 million down to 100,000. You can even go lower. You can go 50,000. All it goes to show you is you can make money in these, even if the coin falls a long way, as long as your APY stays high. See what I'm saying? So it's all about time in the market, not timing the market. You're not necessarily having to buy the coin at the absolute low. You just have to know that as long as the coin continues for an extended period of time and you get a decently good APY, you will do fine. So I did a video all about that, but that's a Cole's Note version of it. The other thing you want to learn is if you are totally new to rebase DAOs, and they all have a similar kind of thing, you go to the top here and it says buy wherever. If it's on Avalanche, it'll be on Trader Joe. If it's on Binance Smart Chain, which this one is, it'll be PancakeSwap, or in this case, BogSwap. Go to PancakeSwap. You can buy BUSD from Binance's stablecoin to Nemesis. Whatever you want to say, $1,000, not $10,000, $1,000. It'll tell you how many you get. It tells you the slippage. I'm actually in the way. I will drop my face out of the way. You can see right here the slippage. You buy $1,000 of Nemesis. It's barely moving the needle, so you don't really have to worry about. That's the one thing about Nemesis. There's a lot of liquidity here. It's a project that's been around, and they put a lot of time and effort into building up their liquidity pool tokens there. And so because of that, when you buy or sell, which is a very important factor, it doesn't move the price massively. So there are some DAOs out there that you even put $1,000 in, and you'll notice you're moving the price like 2%, 3. And you're like, what? It's only $1,000. It's not like I'm a whale or something. And this one, you don't have to worry about that. So that's how you buy it. The other way, of course, is to buy bonds. Right now, you can buy a Nemesis BUSD bond and get an 8.77% discount on the price of Nemesis. As you can see, the price right now is $256, but if you bought this bond, you'd get X number of coins, depending on how much you invest, for $236. So that's a way to get in, but you have to factor in you're getting these coins released to you over 5 days. So you have to sometimes go to the staking area here, and you'll see that the staking for 5 days is 14%. So you're going, why would I buy a bond that over 5 days I get an 8-point-something% discount, or even the other one, which is only 1.68% discount? You certainly wouldn't buy that one. But you have to decide, do I really want to get in cheaper for 8.65% or 7-8% for buying a bond, or just buy the coin directly and stake it? Sometimes the bonds are so high that they're very close to the 5-day staking, in which case it is actually better to buy the bond because you'll get the discount. Plus, as you get time released your coins, you can stake them as well, and you will get about half of this rate of return as well. In this case, I don't think it's probably worth the hassle of buying and making a liquidity pool token. You have to buy 50% of each. You have to create a liquidity pool token. You have to come over here, buy the bonds. Then you have to remember that every 8 hours, you've got to claim your rewards and stake your rewards, which of course costs gas fees as well. So you can factor that in. But just so you know, I'll show you my situation. So here's me. I got some bonds when they were a little higher discount, and like I told you, it was very in my favor to do that. So what you do here is every 8 hours, you come here and you see how many hours are left till the next rebase. I still have 7 hours and 8 minutes. So it is not, get this as close to zero as you can. Let's say within 5-10 minutes, you set a watch alarm or something and say, okay, tell me when this time is going to be around 10-15 minutes. You come over here. If you've got bonds, you would hit claim. It would then show up over here and staked in this area right here. Let me zoom in. And it'll show up here under your balance. See, I have nothing because I didn't just claim something. But if I did, it would show up here. And this shows you how much I already have staked. Again, I just bought that bond earlier today, so I don't have a lot staked yet. But as that bond comes due, I will claim it, which will show up here. I then hit max Obviously it's 0 because I don't have anything, and then I would hit stake, and that's how you would do it. So by getting a bond, getting whatever I got at the time, percent, plus I'll get about half of this percent, 14, so 7%. You add those two together, and if it's noticeably above this 14%, then it's probably worth getting bonds. If it's not noticeably above that number, it's not worth the hassle to get the bonds. So that is my little tip to you. And lastly, I just kind of wanted to reinforce that point about how is Nemesis doing compared to other rebased DAOs. All of the DAOs have taken it on the chin. If you go back far enough, yes, they've gotten kind of slammed lately. But if I go from the 4th to today's the 10th, you can see this upward trajectory. I'm going to keep all of these charts on the same about 4th to the 10th. You can see it's been doing quite well. And that's, again, because they're reminding their community all the improvements they're doing and the work they're doing behind the scene to make it a better and better DAO. And we compare it to some of the big ones, some of the ones that everybody loves, like Time Wonderland. Here's the 4th, here's the 10th. As you can see, pretty much a 30-degree angle down. Let's go to Rome, a gamified version of a DAO. Going from the 4th to the 10th. Again, we have an angle down, probably about 30-degree angle down. I could go on and on with all of these, but I think I'll just pick those two that are kind of like the well-known ones. I don't want to go through a bunch of lesser-known ones, but you can know I'm a big believer that Time's got a good project. I also think Rome has a good project. Both of those, if you've seen my interviews with BlueDex, we will both admit, though, as much as they're great projects with possibly great futures, they were a little on the expensive side. Again, talking about the market cap to treasury backing, there's a much higher multiplier to that. It might be a 6 times market cap to treasury value, while maybe Nemesis is 1.2 times. So you see how when you get things that are really already discounted down to the treasury value, there is not much room left for them to fall, therefore a little safer. And again, as I showed you with the calculator, you can bring the price of the coin down quite substantially. And as long as you stake for 6 months, even better a year, you're going to make a pretty sizable profit. And here's just where you want to see the backing price. So right now, the price of the coin is $254, but the backing price, in other words, the treasury per coin, is $208. If we go over to Time Wonderland, and as I showed you, Time Wonderland has really taken a haircut lately. But if we go on Wonderland, here's the time price right now. And again, this used to be much higher, $2,067. And here's the backing price, $1,222. So it's pretty much a 2-to-1 versus Nemesis, which is what, a 1.2 or 1.3 to 1. So closer to backing is safer, less downside possibility. That you really just want to get into something that you feel is a good project that's valued at a good price, and then you can have a little bit more comfort that you're not going to wake up and have the coin be half the value it was like a week ago. So there you go. There's a lot of things I probably didn't even touch on in their roadmap that's coming up. And again, when I get a new roadmap with new stuff, talking about what's going to go on in 2022, I will bring it to you in another episode. Again, nemesis.finance. This is their splash page. So again, it's nemesis.finance, but don't guess at it. Even if I write it on the screen here, don't try and remember it. My suggestion to you, so you don't accidentally go to a fake site that will try and scam you, the best thing to do is to go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, type in the coin name NMS. You see Nemesis shows up here. You click on it. It brings you to their whole, here's their chart and all that stuff, which is not really why you're here at this point. You want to see website. And then they're going to show you the actual website from CoinMarketCap to the real one. That way you make sure you don't end up on a scam site, which I've had happen to me. It was a very costly lesson to go to the wrong site and connect my wallet. So do not do that. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you got a lot out of this. It is something worth noting. I know a lot of the DAOs haven't done well lately, but keep in mind, as long as it's a good project with a good future, it really doesn't matter as much about the price of the coin as long as it's going to stay stable. It doesn't need to go up. It just doesn't need to go straight down to 0. That's the only way you're going to really lose a lot of money. So get a good project with developers you believe in, and then just stake. And as long as you do it for long enough, you will be fine. So hopefully you found that informative or entertaining. If so, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this is Craig wishing you happiness, health, and wealth in that order. Ciao for now.